We have got writing task 1, IELTS Academic. It's a mixed graph because you can see a table and also set of pie charts, right? So right. Okay, let's write the response for this. And before we start writing the response, let's understand the assessment criteria of writing task 1. Right. Yes. How is the writing paper assessed? We have just discussed, the types of writing task 1, academic writing task 1, and then what to be included in, what to be included as part of body paragraphs, and also what you can also include in concluding paragraph apart from just writing paraphrased version of overview, okay. And also we have understood the specific task instruction, the standard specific task instruction which actually follow any writing task. Let's see. Let's understand assessment criteria for writing task 1. The first one, right, for writing task 1, it is task achievement. How they are going to give marks for task achievement. So whether you have written at least 150 words, right, with relevant information, can give you better task achievement score. In your response, there must be at least 150 words, right? The information should also be relevant, related information. Okay. So the next assessment criteria is coherence and cohesion. Coherence means whatever the paragraphs you write must give overall clear sense, right? Cohesion means sticking to the topic. Both are almost synonymous, but so coherence means giving overall clear sense. It is always possible when all the sentences are cohesive, logically connected each other, right? So is your writing easy to understand? Easy to understand doesn't mean you have to use basic vocabulary and basic sentence structures. Okay. So it means even you write any complex sentence structures in your response that must be grammatically correct and relevant, that can make the examiner to understand your stuff easily. So easy to understand doesn't mean you have to write your response with basic vocabulary and basic sentence structures, but although you write grammatically correct and complex complex sentences in your response, as long as it is grammatically correct, that's going to be easily understandable to the examiner. That's what this sentence actually talking about. The grammatically correct and complex in nature can definitely make examiner to understand it. Although you have a thought, although you are writing complex sentence structure, as long as it is grammatically correct, that is going to be easy to understand for the examiner. That's what this sentence is actually talking about, right? Right, Sandeep? Are your ideas well organized and clearly linked? Logically connected. If all the ideas are logically connected, then you are going to get a good coherence and cohesion score for your writing task and response. And lexical resource, you should be able to use apt vocabulary. Of course, writing task 2 is the correct venue to showcase all of your language skills with regard to lexical resource, with regard to complex vocabulary, high level vocabulary, advanced vocabulary. But the suitable vocabulary actually matters in case of writing task 1. Did you use wide range of suitable vocabulary? Wide range of suitable vocabulary. Okay. Wide range of suitable vocabulary accurately and effectively. So obviously, whenever you use apt vocabulary, that makes the related sentence relevant and accurate, right? So if you are able to use wide variety of apt vocabulary, that makes your response effective, or that makes the paragraph or sentence effective. Okay, next. Grammatical range and accuracy. Whatever the sentence you write must be grammatically correct in your response. Okay, so wide range of a sentence structure, grammatical structures accurately and effectively. So although you write wide variety of sentence structures, as long as they are grammatically correct, you're going to get good score in grammatical range and accuracy, which is one of the assessment criteria of your writing task 1. Okay, and of course we have already discussed writing task 2, structure and the necessaries, the necessary things that any student should know. And writing task 2 is worth more marks than writing task 1. The assessor will combine your 2 scores to obtain one final score. So they combine means they follow a expression. What is that? The overall writing section score is going to be calculated making use of this equation. 2/3 of writing task 2 score, okay, and 1/3 of writing task 1 score. And you should always remember, as writing task 2 is worth twice as many marks as writing task 1 is. The time given for writing task 1 is 20 minutes. It's suggested time. It's just suggested time. So writing task 2 is obviously twice 20 minutes, that is 40 minutes. Okay. The timer in your real examination starts from 60 minutes. Actually, you can navigate from writing task 1 to writing task 2 anytime you want. You can switch to one task to another task. Okay, within writing section anytime you want throughout your 60 minutes. Anytime in your 60 minutes, you can actually switch or navigate from one task to another task. Okay, so there might be some students who allocate only 15 minutes for writing task 1. Basically depends on their practice and proficiency they achieve. Okay, maybe 45 minutes for writing task 2, as they want to give more priority for writing task 2 to score better, right? Because writing task 2 has more weightage. Okay, right. So this is the assessment criteria. So now let's write the response for this. It has been mentioned you should spend 20 minutes. It is just suggested time. As the timer starts from 60 minutes on screen, you can even start writing task 2 first. Allocate 40 to 45 minutes on it. The remaining 15 minutes or 20 minutes can be allocated for writing task. Okay, that's absolutely student's choice. Okay, right. The first one, what do we have to write? Introduction, and then overview, body paragraphs, and then concluding lines, right? So I have to check whether what kind of tense I can see in this introduction. Is it talking about any past details, or is it just given any present details or something of that sort? Please observe the table below shows the number of visitors to Ashdown Museum during the year before and the year after it was refurbished. Okay, I can find out a clear clause. Clause means subject plus verb. A clear clause given in past tense. So your entire response should also be in the past tense. Okay, clause means subject plus verb plus some x. So it was refurbished. Right? So the response should be in past tense. So all these details are actually past details. Right? So your response should also be in the past tense. Whatever the detailed sentence you write in your response should be in past tense. Clear? Right. So the charts show result of surveys asking visitors how satisfied they were with their visit during the same 2 periods. Right. This can be written in short. So however, you should not copy the same vocabulary. For example, the verbs, what are they? Refurbishment, we refurbished. I'm gonna use renovated, renovation. And visitors, I may use visitants, or the number of people who visit the Ashdown Museum, something of that sort. Okay, So making use of this introductory information given as part of question, you should be able to write introductory paragraph now. Okay. So you may make use of the individual headings to write the introductions. Total number of visitors to Ashdown Museum. Results of surveys of visitor satisfaction. Okay, satisfaction of visitors. Okay, disclosed by the surveys or survey results. Something like that. So you should always follow the same order. The order in which you can see the diagrams. As I can see two diagrams, right? One table and also set of pie charts. So I should be able to write two introductory statements separated by while, which creates a big introductory paragraph in the beginning of your response. So yeah. First one, table, right? The table provides information about total number of visitors to Ashdown Museum. So visitor can be rewritten the number of people who visited the Ashdown Museum. Okay, or you may even write total number of tourists, total number of attendees. Okay, right. About total number of people who visited Ashdown Museum. I have written in short, but in your real examination you should not. You have to write clearly. Okay. Ashdown Museum. Okay. Who visited Ashdown Museum during the year before and after its refurbishment. So during the years, I have before, okay, year before and also year after. I can simply mention years before and after. Okay. During the years before and after its the spelling of renovation. It must be like this. Okay. After its reconditioning, after its modernization. So you should not use too many synonyms. So as examiner test maker indicated you to not to use same vocabulary, doesn't mean you have to use too many synonyms. Too many synonyms in the same response can make your response awkward and further reduces your score. Okay. Right. So I have written the introductory sentence for table. The next one, while. After while, there should not be any comma, and start writing introductory sentence for the set of pie charts. While set of pie charts or pair of pie charts. The pair of pie charts compares or illustrates the, basically they are all, what are the numbers? What are they? So specifically in the diagram, I can see the numbers. So my introductory sentence should start with total number of people. Okay, and also, what are they basically? They are also numbers, but please observe, if you add all of them, it gives you 100, so they are percentages. Okay, right. Illustrates the percentage of, what are the percentage of satisfaction? Can I say percentage of satisfaction? Percentages of satisfaction, right? The pair of pie charts illustrates the percentages of satisfaction. There are percentages of satisfaction only, no? Percentages of different kind of satisfactions. Okay, or satisfaction levels, percentages of different satisfaction can give the necessary sense. No issues, no need to going on with different vocabulary that may make entire sentence wrong. Okay, let's go simple. Percentages of satisfaction during the same 2 periods. We got during the same 2 periods across the same periods. Okay. Any doubt? Clear? So I have written introduction for the table first, and then pair of pie charts. Both have been separated by 1. Clear? Right. Let's write down the overview. How the numbers have actually changed in the table. They were actually increased overall. So I'm gonna write increased. How about the satisfaction from before refurbishment or after refurbishment? Satisfaction, overall satisfaction of the visitor has also increased, right? Because very satisfied is 15%. After refurbishment, it was 35%. Satisfied are 30, after refurbishment 40. Overall, the satisfaction of the visitors was also, percentage of satisfaction of the visitor also increased. So these two things are going to be written, but I want to draw a causal connection. So as it was renovated, that has made more number of visitors satisfied more than they were before renovation, right? Before renovation, less satisfaction. After renovation, more satisfaction. What's the reason? Renovation. Due to renovation, people were more satisfied. So that's causal connection is also going to be drawn. Okay, right. Overall, let me write an overview with the same. You can write simple sentences also, but I should be able to draw causal connection as well. Not only simply mentioning overall satisfaction increase after renovation and number of people visiting the Ashdown Museum has also increased. Instead of this, I have to draw causal connection as well. So let me write a better overview overall. The museum experienced a significant, of course, significant rise. Experienced significant rise. Rise means increase. Significant increase, right? Visitor numbers. Right? After its renovation, we have already used this. So instead I can write subsequent. Subsequent means after. Next number subsequent to its renovation or refurbishment. Okay. And the next one, I have to draw the causal connection, right? Furthermore, it can also be seen, it can be observed. Furthermore, it can also be observed. Can be observed is okay. Observe that renovation actually caused, in fact, the renovation, in fact, you can use in fact just to emphasize the meaning. You can even ignore. Renovation caused, What happened? Renovation caused more number of people visiting to the, right? Greater visitor satisfaction. Greater visitor satisfaction. Resulting in if they are more satisfied, more number of people, flood to the Ashdown Museum, resulting in higher volume. I mean, higher volume of visitors or visitants or attendees. You can even mention attendees. Higher volume of attendees. Okay. So most cases I'm using visitors again and again. So sometimes you may use attendees. I'm not going to use any other words in place of visitors. Mostly I'm going to use visitors. Sometimes attendees or visitants. Okay. Right. So in the first sentence I used the definition of the visitors, like total number of people who visits some place. They are visitors only, no? Yeah. Resulting in higher volume of attendees to the museum. So on the whole, what you can observe, the simple meaning of this paragraph is more satisfaction can be observed after renovation, and also more number of visitors were attending, were present after renovation. So we can clearly observe the renovation actually resulted in more number of visitors to the Ashdown Museum. So this is the overview. Any doubt with this? Let's move on to first body paragraph. Let me divide the body paragraphs in the same order of the diagrams given. I mean, one body paragraph for table, another body paragraph in next is for set of pie charts. Okay. Now this is the overview. Okay. The same can be rewritten with different vocabulary, different sentence structures as part of concluding paragraph. The table more detail. Looking at the table in more detail, let's talk about this. The number of visitors or visitants right? The number of visitants or visitors. The number of visitors to the Ashdown Museum. To the museum. Suppose number of visitants to the museum before renovation. Or you can just mention prior to. Prior to renovation was at 74,000, right? 74,000. This figure rose to increase. This figure rose to 92,000. Post renovation or after renovation. After renovation, with a growth of with a notable growth of about 25%. So I just not only mentioned the final value, that is 92,000 after renovation. I just want to highlight how much percentage has actually increased. Okay, right. So it emphasizes the number of people, the number of visitors increased after the renovation. Okay, so how renovation actually caused a considerable amount of people, considerable amount of visitor turnout at the museum. Clear, Sandeep? Yeah. So, frankly, you can't write more than this for this particular table. Can I write any other? The details were covered. The two figures have actually been covered. Yeah. Write down response for another paragraph for the set of pie charts. Set of pie charts. It is evident that that would be, it would make the related sentence more meaningful. Okay, these are basically some standard, you can actually memorize them. In the first body paragraph, looking at the table, whatever you can see. In the next body paragraph, turning to the set of pie charts, it is evident that. Okay, it is evident that. So each and every sentence in this paragraph is going to be a kind of comparison. Right, Betty? Okay. So please observe how I'm going to change the vocabulary. Even the sentences are basically similar in structures. So let's talk about very satisfied. The percentage of the visitors who were very satisfied uh, had changed from before renovation, to after renovation. Let's see. It is evident that the percentage of visitors who were very satisfied. Basically, you can simply mention satisfies visitors, but I just want to elaborately give clear meaning. So I may make use of the particular phrase percentage of very satisfied visitors or satisfied visitors in the next sentence. So I'm going to have another noun phrase to write a new sentence. Right, buddy? Okay. Yeah. It is evident that the percentage of visitors who were very satisfied. How they have changed? Very satisfied. Before renovation, what's their percentage? Very satisfied. What's their percentage, Sandeep? 15. After renovation? 35. It's a drastic increment, right? So you should be able to use necessary adverbs as well, which explains the change. The examiners even look for such adverbs. How effectively student can use such adverbs as a part of grammatically correct sentences. Visitors who were very satisfied increased from 15% before renovation to satisfied increased dramatically or drastically from 15% before renovation to 35% after renovation. Okay. Next, so we have actually compared the percentages of very satisfied visitors and that of very satisfied visitors after renovation. We have actually compared 15% and 35%. Very satisfied before renovation, very satisfied, the same very satisfied after renovation in a single sentence. Right? Yeah. So in the next sentence onwards, no need to mention before renovation, after renovation again and again. Okay. So now please observe the noun phrase I'm going to use, which the sentence starts with. Again, the proportion, you can use proportion. The proportion of, who is the next one? Satisfied visitor. The proportion of satisfied visitors. So satisfied visitors also increased, right? So I can use similar information. I can use likewise. Similarly, you can use likewise. Likewise is the less common phrase. Portion of satisfied visitors also grew, right, from significantly or notably grew 30% to 40. Right. So in the next paragraph, of course, you can continue in the same paragraph. For better understanding, let me use another paragraph, because till here we have spoken about the increased quantities. In the next, I'm going to talk about the decreased quantities, which are dissatisfied and very dissatisfied people. By contrast, right, the percentage again, the percentage of, so however dissatisfied and very dissatisfied can be written in the same sentence, which showcases a grouping sentence, which shows a grouping sentence and which shows your language skill, right? The percentage is off. Please observe the order. So you should be able to follow the same order in which, uh, the types of people, the types of visitors have given. So I just follow the conventional order. Very satisfied is the first one given in the diagram. I have just spoken about very satisfied. So if you really want to go in a different way, of course you can go, but the new way of writing should make the examiner to fully convince, right, that he has actually changed the order for a reason. So your response should be more sophisticated, right, advanced, and making the examiner that of course all the quantities were actually explained by the examiner and order doesn't matter as such. It's explained by the student and order doesn't matter. So if you are able to write advanced response, much more advanced response that can cover the new way of response whatever you write. So let's, however, we are targeting just 7 or 7.5 by this response. Okay, frankly speaking, it is going to have 8 band 8 on the whole. So even in worst cases, okay, there might be orthodox, eccentric examiner may give 7.5 for this, right? So most cases you are going to get 8, which is going to be written the response now. Okay, right. I just followed the conventional order. I have spoken about very satisfied first, and then satisfied, dissatisfied, very dissatisfied, no response. If you really want to follow your own order, okay, the sophisticated sentence structure and advanced vocabulary and high level vocabulary can definitely make the examiner to convince the idea of not following the conventional order given in the diagram. Okay, right. The percentages of dissatisfied and very dissatisfied visitors, percentages of dissatisfied and very dissatisfied visitors are they decreased or increased? Decreased, right? Yeah. Declined or fell. Please observe all the detailed sentence have been written in past tense. Please observe, right? Grew, grew, and increased, right, buddies? Rose. Why? Because I can see a clause given in past tense as part of introductory information given in the question. Okay? Right. Declined from 10 to 5. Dissatisfied is 40 to 50. From 40% to, is it 15 or dissatisfied? 40 to 15. 40% to 15, and so very dissatisfied were reduced from 10% to 5% respectively. Okay, clear? So respectively is the word I have used to join two ideas in the same sentence, two figures in the same sentence, to talk about two figures, two changes in the same sentence. Okay. Finally, so till here, till very dissatisfied, we have an advantage. Like these are a combination of adverb and adjective, so they can be placed just before the noun phrase, which this each of the sentence starts with, right? But we have a phrase here, no response. No response is a phrase, not at all like combination of adjective and adverb. Dissatisfied is an adjective. So adjective adverbs can simply are placed just before the noun phrase the sentence starts with, making the overall sentence meaningful. But no response cannot be written just before the noun phrase with which the sentence starts. So you can change that into a verb like this. The proportion of visitors who did not respond. Don't use contrast, it's not. Contractions. Contractions mean didn't. Don't use didn't because you are writing a formal content, right? Yeah. Okay, the proportion of visitors who did not respond. Now it is a verb. Response. Response is a noun given in the question. Okay. The proportion of visitors who did not respond was at 5%. Remained at 5%. Remained the same. Remained the same at 5%. Clear? Okay. So the proportion of visitors who did not respond remained the same at 5%. Frankly speaking, this response is enough to get up to 8 for this question. So the word count is 185. Cool. My suggestion is to write 165. Yeah, 185. Okay. So you may even write another concluding paragraph. Okay. To summarize, to conclude. To summarize, what can we write? Of course, you can. That's going to be optional. It's actually going to be optional. You can simply leave here because already 185 words, right? If you really want to write, you may even write a sentence like almost 70% of the people were satisfied after innovation, right? Almost 70%, no? Dissatisfied and very dissatisfied. How about the percentages? 5 plus? Very dissatisfied. 5 plus 15, 20%. So almost 80% of the people, visitors, were satisfied after renovation. This had engendered more number of, to summarize, almost 80%. 80% can be written as, so let me show you the phrases which have been shared with you. Hey, where are you, man? Is this yours? I just want to show you this. 80%. 4/5. Of course, you may use 4/5, but it looks odd. So a very large majority. right? 70%, a very large majority. Can we use this? A very large majority of the visitors you may simply write almost 80%. A very large majority of the visitors, right, express their satisfaction to the survey that endangered, no, it's not endangered, engendered means causing, producing. A very large majority of visitors were satisfied after renovation of the Ashdown Museum. And this led to had led to which has led to more visitor turnout at the museum. Okay, I have just rewritten the same content what you have seen in the overview, but with slight modification. Okay. More visitor turnout at the museum. Clear? So this document is going to be shared with you, buddy.